What is this garbage you're watching? I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Hey folks, welcome to another episode of All About Addiction. My name is Doug. I'm a former benzo and opioid addict. If you've never seen any of my videos, I had about a 20-year off and on addiction to both of those things. I ended my opioid addiction in June of 2016 and benzos 2017. I recently had a script for Norco. I had 10 tablets. I had a tooth pulled last week. No relapse whatsoever. Matter of fact, I didn't enjoy it whatsoever. Getting the Norco didn't make me want to go back to it. I haven't had benzo though since September 2017. Okay, I've tried to cut this video like 3 times already, and it keeps turning into a 20-minute video. So I'm going to eliminate everything else that I said in my other videos, and I'm just going to get to the point. I've already told you I'm a 20-year off and on addict. Another thing I want to throw in there, I had 11 years med-surg experience as a nurse. In those 11 years, I've done everything from psychiatric nursing, medical surgical nursing, skilled nursing, nursing home, rehab nursing. I've worked on just about every floor you can think of, telemetry, step down, ICU, ER, everything. But my main thing was med-surg. Okay, with that out of the way, I just want to say that I have dosed people Tramadol, I have dosed people opioids, dosed people benzos. I've done either by mouth, per rectum, or intravenously. So I know a little bit about something. I don't know everything. Number one, I'm going to say this. If you're taking more than 400 milligrams of Ultram per day, I don't know what to tell you. And another thing, disclaimer. There's going to be some Weisenheimer that's going to say, "Oh, what are you trying to tell people what to do with their lives, bro? You're not a doctor. You don't have no medical advice." I'm saying this is what I would do. I'm not telling you what to do. With that out of the way, if you're taking more than 400 milligrams of Ultram a day, I don't know what to tell you. Number two, if you're thinking about taking more than 400 milligrams a day and you're watching this video to gauge on how to get stoned, I'll tell you this: if you take more than 400 milligrams a day, you risk having a grand mal seizure and you risk respiratory depression. Both can kill you. With that out of the way, if you're taking 400 milligrams a day or less, here's what I would do. Typically, if you're addicted to Tramadol, you're probably going to be addicted at 100 milligrams 4 times a day. Most people don't get addicted and stay at the 50 milligram level or the 75 milligram level. They go up as far as they can. At least that's what I did when I was addicted to benzos and to oxycodone. So let's say you're at 100 milligrams a day and you're taking it the way the script says, and you're just addicted because you've been taking it for a while, by no fault of your own. So you're every 4 hours, or at least every 4 to 6 hours, and you're addicted. You can't stop taking it. I can tell you there's nothing set in stone on how to withdraw, but I don't know of using any other medication to make this any easier for you. When I was addicted to opioids, when I was addicted to oxycodone, I used Tramadol to get off that stuff, because when you're addicted to a stronger narcotic, Tramadol just doesn't do it for you. It's like smoking a cigar and inhaling a cigar for months and years at a time, and then somebody hands you a Virginia Slim Ultralight, and you can't get any nicotine out of it. You can't get that buzz. But what Tramadol did is it plugged into the opioid receptor, and it said, okay, I'm not withdrawing. I don't feel warm and fuzzy, but I don't feel bad either. So it was a way out of opioid addiction. If you want to know more about that, watch my other videos. I'm going to get into that. Here's what I would do. 8, 12, 4, and 8. Let's say that's your schedule and you're taking 100 milligrams 4 times a day. What I would do, I would break everything up into either phases or stages, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to say every week do this, the next week do that, then the week after that do that. So that's stage 1, phase 2, phase 3, and I'm telling you every 7 days do this. Now I'm throwing 7 days out there for the people who can't handle doing anything quicker. But if it was me, I would do it every 3 days. I'm just telling you, I would do it every 3 days. I would not want to drag out my taper any longer than I needed to. Because opioids, I'm telling you, it's not as difficult as benzodiazepines. And I did that every 7 days. But I got off oxycodone in like 7 days using Tramadol. So here's what I would do every 3 days. But when I say every 3 days, you can make it every 5 days, every 7 days, or every 10 days, however you want to do it. So you're taking it 8, 4, 4, and 8. That's your schedule right now, right? Something like that. So here's what I would do. I would start off week 1, 8, 1, 5, and 9. 7 days doing that. I'm telling you, if it was me, I would do it every 3 days. But for 7 days, 8, 1, 5, and 9. Next week, I would go 8, 2, 6, 8, 2, every 6 hours, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 2, and 8. I wouldn't worry about taking a dose after you go to bed. Because this is what I'm going to say about that. I've been addicted to cigarettes. I've been addicted to benzos. I'm now addicted to snuff. I've been addicted to just about everything you can think of. And I've never woke up in the middle of the night go, oh, I need to taper off my drug. I need to take more drugs. Nobody wakes up in the middle of the night going, I got to have a cigarette. Now maybe you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't go back to sleep. Then you smoke a cigarette. But you didn't wake up, go, oh, it's 3 o'clock. I got to wake up and smoke a cigarette. Or it's 3 o'clock, oh, I got to take another Xanax. Or it's 3 o'clock, I got to have another Tramadol. Or it's 3 o'clock, I'm an alcoholic, I got to have more alcohol. Because once you go to bed, all addictions are suspended. I can't tell you the medical science for that, but there is medical science for that. So I'm saying 8, 2, and then 8, and then the next time would be 2 o'clock in the morning. But if you want to wake up and do it that way, I don't care. It's your prerogative, like Bobby Brown said. Next day or the next week, I would go 8, 3, which would be every 7 hours, 8, 3, and then 10. Isn't that right? Something like that. And then the week after that, I would go 8, 4, we're at 8 hours, then 12 midnight. Then the next week, 8, 5, and then go to bed. If you wake up 1 o'clock and you're feeling like you need it, take it. But I would go to bed and not worry about it, because you still got enough meds on board to keep you going. And plus you're doing this in increments of every 7 days, putting an extra hour in between your dose. So the whole key component of this is spreading out your dose by 1 hour, every dose by 1 extra hour every 7 days. But once again, if it was me, I wouldn't go 1 extra hour every 7 days. I would go 1 extra hour every 3 days and then start my second phase of adding another extra hour. Get where I'm going? Then it would be like 8, 6, just it goes from 1 extra hour week 1, 1 extra hour 2 hours week 2, an extra 3 hours week 4, extra 4 hours week 5, extra 6 hours, extra 7 hours. Every week you add an hour, and you started off with every 4 hours, you end up with every 8 hours, and then every 12 hours after a week, then every 13 hours after a week, and then every 14. And the reason I wouldn't drag it out because it would take 7 weeks to put 12 hours of distance between your last dose. I don't have that much time to fool around with this crap. If it was me, I got a life to live. I want to get off of it, and I want to get back to my life. So you see where I'm going with this? And at some point, when you get around to your 12 hours in between your last dose and it's not bothering you anymore, because you've trained your brain to expect it now a little bit later, and then a week later after that, you train your brain again to expect it a little bit later. That's how you tackle this. I don't know any other way that I would go about it. I've done a bit of research into addiction, and I don't see anything else helping people out there. I'm telling you that if this was me, this is how I would tackle my addiction. And by the time I'm 100 milligrams every 12 hours, you've gone so far and you've made so much progress that if you can wait every 12 hours, that's when the magic of it comes in. That means you can go ahead and try, tomorrow I'm going to take 50 or 75 milligrams every 12 hours. And I'm going to do that for, let's say, 3 days. You can do it every 7 days, or you can do it every month. However you want to do it, whatever you want to do. If it was me, I would do it every 3 days. I would switch from 100 milligrams every 12 hours now down to 75 milligrams. If you can scour a tablet like that and break it like that. Or I would probably go down 50 milligrams every 24 hours times 3 days. If I could tolerate it. If I couldn't tolerate it, I'd find a way to scour that tablet to make it 75 milligrams every 12 hours. And then once you got that down, I would do that for a few days and then go down to 25 milligrams. Scour the tablet and break it into 25 milligrams. And then when you're down on a low dose like that, instead of every 12 hours, I would tell myself, okay, I took it at 8 this morning. Instead of taking it at 8 at night, I'm going to take it at 9, or I'm going to take it at 10, or I'm just going to wait till midnight. Or I may say, I'm just not going to even take it at all. And I'd wake up and see how I felt. If I couldn't go to sleep because I was a little bit addicted, I would go ahead and dose before sleep. Then I would wake up and I would say, instead of taking it this morning, I want to see how far I can run this morning. I don't mean physically run. I mean run with the taper, how far I can go this morning or this whole day before I need to dose myself with 25 or 50 milligrams, whatever you're feeling. You see where I'm going with this? At some point, you add more liberty to handle this instead of being on a schedule. Well, he said to schedule it like this, this, and this. I say yeah to that because in the beginning, you've got to get that space, time, and distance between your doses. But with that space, time, and distance, when you're 12 hours apart, you have trained your body now to the point to where you don't need it every 4 hours. You went 4 times what you were doing before. So if you're at that phase, you can start decreasing your dose and pushing the limit even further. All I would say is I'd keep a journal, write down everything I'm doing. So that way, because let's say you get down to 1 tablet every 12 hours. And then the next day you're going to go, I'm going to push this and I'm only going to take 1 tablet and I'm going to see how many hours I can go until the next dose. Let's say instead of every 12 hours, you went a full day and then you needed a dose. So you gave yourself a dose, a low dose. You jot that down in your journal. And then you see how far along you can go again before your next dose. It was 24 hours last time. Let's see if it can be 36 or 48 hours this time. If it gets to 36 and you're cringing, go ahead and take it. No big deal. Take it, journal it, and then wait another 36 hours. If the next 36 hours comes along and you're not cringing, you don't feel like you need it, say to yourself, let's see if we can push it to 48 hours. If you can get to 48 hours and you still don't need it, let's see if we can go to bed and wake up and see if I need it again. And whenever you need it, dose. Then after you dose, it'll probably take another 4 or 5 days if it's ever going to hit you again. then you can dose again. But chances are, if you can go 2 or 3 days without another dose, you're done. That's it. You're done. Something else that I would add to this: drink plenty of water, exercise by either going for a walk or join a gym, get on a treadmill or stair stepper, lift weights, whatever. Drink plenty of water, because that will help you to excrete those metabolites. It'll also do something else. It will help displace anxiety, and it's also a good diversion for the mind. Because when you're working out, when I tend to work out, and I haven't done it for a long time, I tend to punish myself. And especially if I'm withdrawing from a drug, I'm like, I'm gonna go an extra hour today. No, I'm gonna go extra 2 hours a day. I'm gonna get on the treadmill instead of 20 minutes, I'm gonna do 25, and then I get to 25, my mind's saying go 30, and when I hit 30, I'm like, go 35, and I just keep pushing myself. And when you can push your body, mentally push yourself, and demonstrate to yourself you can make your body do what you want to do, that's when you start tapping into your mind and making your mind do what you want it to do. All of these things factor in. Another thing I'd recommend is your diet. I wouldn't be eating quarter pounders with cheese, Big Mac, salty fries, and all this other kind of crap. I would try to eat something healthy, because when you eat crappy, you feel crappy. That's just all there is to it. I'm not going to turn into a dietitian on you. I'm just telling you, when you eat crappy, you feel crappy. You know what healthy food is? If you don't, Google it. I'm not going to make this episode about how to eat healthy. I'm just telling you how I would apply myself to getting off Tramadol. With that said, you need to talk to your doctor about this. You need to let him know what you're doing. You don't have to go in on a face-to-face. You can just call your doc up. Hey, doc, I'm thinking about withdrawing from Tramadol, and this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do every 5 hours the first week, every 6 hours the next week, and every 7 hours the next week, every 8, then every 9, then every 10, then 11, then 12, and then I'm going to step down from 100 to 75 or 50, and then after a couple of days of that, then I'm going to see if I can drop it down some more. Then I'm going to see how much more time, space, and distance I can put between the doses until I just don't feel like I need it anymore. And your doctor's going to go, all right then, hey, good luck with that. That's it. It's not rocket science, people. It's just being motivated, getting ready to do it, and then executing the plan. That's basically it. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. I don't care. Leave a comment in the comment section if you want to comment. I respond to all comments. And get well, people. Get off this crap. You don't need it. Thank you, and have a good night.